Hi. If you have been thinking about quitting your job and becoming your own boss, before you do that, watch this. All right, y'all. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Dr. Shamanda. I'm a licensed mental health and addictions therapist here in North Carolina, and I specialize in financial therapy, which is all about helping you understand and heal your relationship with money. So, recently, guys, I transitioned into entrepreneurship, self-employment 100%, and it has been great, to be honest. But I want to make sure that I share some nuggets, I would say some strategies with you guys who are looking to make this transition, because it's not something that I would recommend jumping into if you're not ready, especially in this economy. And a lot of people will give you a lot of fluff. They give you all this like, oh yeah, let's do this, like, quit your job and work for yourself. Like, okay, be ready. Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, all right, guys. So the first thing I want to say is freedom is not what you think. Now, a lot of people use that word freedom. I want freedom. I want to be able to set my own hours. I want to be able to wake up when I want to wake up. I want to be able to enjoy the day the way I want to, right? To own my time. So, that sounds great. And I think we all deserve that. I truly do. You know what I mean? However, there's this thing called responsibilities, and bills and needs and, survival, all that, right? And so freedom looks a lot different than I think we think, right? So with freedom comes pressure. So I would say that you don't escape pressure once you leave your job. You just you experience a different kind of pressure. So what kind of pressure? Making sure you can replace your income. So you were getting this stable, consistent paycheck every 2 weeks or every month, however we're getting paid. Now you have to make sure that you're seeing enough clients or providing enough services to make up for that same money or more. And so there's a different level of pressure that comes with that freedom. Yes, you might be able to sleep into 10, but what do you got to ask yourself, like, what am I going to do once I get up to make this money today? Or maybe you only want to work 4 days out of the week. Okay, well, are you going to actually work? Like, you actually have to work those 4 days in order to make the money and the revenue that you need to survive and to meet your financial goals and needs. So, yes, you'll have freedom, but there's a level of pressure that comes with that, and that's very important to know. Number 2, I would say, is that your mindset will get exposed, right? I talk a lot about mindset on this channel, especially around money and mental health, because it's so important, right? Like, how you think is you won't be able to hide it no more, okay? So if you struggle with discipline, it's going to be even more of a thing once you're an entrepreneur, you're full-time self-employed. If you struggle with time management, it's going to be even more of a thing once you're self-employed and full-time, entrepreneur. If you struggle with money management, if you struggle with getting along with people, like, all of those things are going to be amplified even more once you become a self-employed or full-time entrepreneur, because it's your mindset. And that doesn't matter if you're working for somebody, for a corporation, or if you're working for yourself. Your mindset is going to determine so many things in your life, okay? So that's important to know, is that you got to work on your mindset regardless. Number 3 is income inconsistency is real. Listen, I want to say I don't have them problems, but I will say this is like month 2. Like, I'm doing this video a little bit early, but I have a whole nother video to do with my actual journey. But I'm going into month 2, and when I tell you I have so many streams of income coming in, like opportunities, it's not even funny. But a lot of those things take time to get started, if that makes sense. And I'll break that down in another video. So you have to understand that you might have been you coming from a 9 to 5 where you were getting paid. You just come to work, sit at your office, see your clients, or perform your service, whatever you do, and you're going to get paid regardless. Whether you see 5 clients that day, or do 5 hours of work, or you just chit-chat with your coworkers for 2 hours and you just sit for the rest of the time, you're going to still get your full paycheck for the most part, right? versus being a self-employed person or entrepreneur. Every hour counts, every dollar counts, everything counts, literally. And so there's a level of stress that can come with that if you're not mindful, if you're not already prepared, right? Which a lot of people aren't. They think, oh, I'm just going to jump out here and I'm going to turn my hobby into my passion and make this money, or I'm going to do gig work. But things happen. Sometimes those platforms dry up, or you might think, okay, I'm gonna join with this program or this contract, and they're gonna send me 10 referrals, and they might be like, well, actually, we're a little slow right now. Like, so many things can happen. So there's a lot of money stress that you can encounter. Probably will. You also have to deal with planning and understanding, like, your journey with money. So, like, are you trying to pay off debt this year? Are you trying to save? Are you trying to invest? And if you're trying to do any of those things with that inconsistent income, it's going to throw things off a lot, right? Like, so you just have to be mindful of that and know that that's going to come with the territory. And you can have a whole load of clients, but you can still have inconsistent income because things happen, especially like in healthcare where I'm at now. People have lost their insurance. Like, there's so many things that have happened. And so you just have to be mindful of that, okay? Number 4 is that you have to create your own structure. Like, you don't have anybody telling you what to do anymore. And that all sounds great and all, dandy right now until it gets real. Because if nobody's telling you to get up at 8 o'clock so that you can be ready for your 10 o'clock client or whatever, you might be like, oh, I'm just going to sleep in a little bit longer. Okay. But then if you oversleep, there's so many different things, so many variables. So you just have to make sure that you put a structure in place and not really go overboard with this whole concept of freedom. Yes, there's freedom, but you still have to be very disciplined and very structured. I have a set schedule. I get up, I go to the gym, I come home, eat my breakfast. Well, I shower, get dressed, eat my breakfast, and watch whatever just to get my mind ready for the day. I film my content and I lock in for my sessions, right? But that's the flow of my time. But I might not do that every day. Every day might look different depending on my schedule. But I have a structure to it, and I don't need anybody standing over me telling me to do that. And that's why I knew I was ready. Like, how I knew I was ready for entrepreneurship. But there are some people who aren't that disciplined and structured. So you have to take a real hard look at yourself and be honest with yourself. Are you somebody who needs somebody to manage you? Because if you do, either you need to go back to your 9 to 5, keep your 9 to 5, or you might need to get an accountability partner. So don't count yourself out yet. Just know that you might need some accountability and somebody helping you with that, okay? And number 5 is we need a plan. I'm always talking about that, needing a plan, because it feels great. The idea of working for yourself, being an entrepreneur, not having a boss, all that feels so great. It's a great feeling, full of emotion, full of excitement. But you have to have a plan, because this is real life, especially if you have other people depending on you, like kids, or being a caregiver, if you have medication that you got to take, or just being able to pay for yourself and your basic needs. This is real life. So it feels great, but please have a plan. I just really want to put that out there, because I see a lot of people talking about this whole 9 to 5 thing and all that, and I love it. It's the best decision I've ever made. Period. I wish I would have did it sooner, to be honest. And I have, off and on, but I mean, like, fully diving in. I get to sit in my home office and make money, and by helping people, by doing everything that I was already doing, but doing it for myself. Best feeling ever, and there's no cap on the income I can make. Y'all, when y'all start, anyway, just make sure you subscribe to the channel, because you're going to want to see this whole process, okay? But I would be remiss if I didn't tell you the things that you have to have in place, and the things that makes this a little challenging. And I say little mindfully. If you're not prepared, okay? So have a plan. Get a coach. I would say get a coach if you need to. Work with your therapist if you have some anxiety around it. Just make sure you get a plan, okay? Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, share, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right? Bye.